Thanks for tuning in to Shauna Speaks Life, where every day is a good day to live your best life. Hey, you guys, how are you doing today? I am so excited for today's topic. It's really deep, near and dear to my heart. It's about self-esteem and suicide. And to help me really get this topic going, I really wanted to have my best friend Denisha here because I think it's important that we get both sides of a person who's dealing with that, because a lot of times we don't really realize that when we're going through things, how it's affecting the people that are around us. And I think it's important to kind of have both of those dynamics. So we're going to just go ahead and jump right into this conversation. So, Denisha, why don't you talk to us about your level of self-esteem and how it affected your confidence?
Shauna always tells me I have the highest self-esteem in the world. I wouldn't say that.
Well,
but I will say I've always loved myself. I've always had high self-esteem. I was just groomed that way. My daddy told me every day that I was beautiful. A lot of young chocolate girls grew up with low self-esteem because it was always that you're dark-skinned and light-skinned was considered in when we were growing up. However, in my house, chocolate was beautiful. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. So I never had those type of issues. And then as I got older, and even when I went through what I would call my rough phases, I never knew I was in them because I always thought I was beautiful.
She so did. Really did.
So that's just how my self-esteem is. And so because of that, I've never had anybody say anything negative about my character or even about my looks. And I feel some type of way because I just know me and I know who I am. And I've always had that level of confidence.
That's awesome. And that's one of the things I definitely respected about you. Not just as my friend, but as a woman, as a Black woman. You don't see a lot of, especially at the ages we were, a lot of Black girls, especially of a darker skin tone, to really be confident in who they were. I'm like, shoot, I was brown skinned and didn't like the color of my skin. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like to have my best friend walk around like, you can't tell me nothing. I should be like, I want to wear that. Like, I want to be that girl. And I couldn't pick up on it soon enough. So now, being best friends with someone who suffered from low self-esteem, which would be me, how do you feel like that played a part in our relationship?
We went through a lot of ups and downs and rocky situations because of it. Because no matter how many times I would tell her what I saw in her, that doesn't mean she always believed it. And no matter how many times I would tell her, no matter what, I'm here, that didn't mean she always believed it. It was more, I had to show her I wasn't going anywhere. And trust me, she has pushed me away 100 times.
99.
Okay. And she has, just had, she's been inside herself too many times where she just feels like no matter what, nobody's going to love me. And there's times where I've had to scream at her and say, but I love you and I'm somebody.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It can be overwhelming, but I feel like no matter the journey, it's worth it. Because if she comes out in the end, then I'm winning.
Yeah. Do you feel like, had we not been friends for as long as we had, that could have actually ended our friendship?
Yes and no, because even though we were happier and didn't think about those type of things when we were 5,
yeah,
you were still fat.
Man, I was fat.
So there was still always going to be something that you disliked about yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
So regardless had I met you at whatever age, there was always going to be that. I just think God put us in the place to be what we were because of who I am and because of who you are. Like, there's many times who I am got you to, through times where you didn't know you were going to get through.
Yeah, man, for sure. And that's why I feel like sometimes people take their friendships for granted. I know I have, not even realizing that was something that I was doing, but like she said, I was just inside myself dealing with my own issues, not really paying attention to how it was affecting her, or to how it seemed like I cared about the friendship if I'm pushing somebody away because I'm dealing with some stuff, when your friend is trying to be there. And it's like, it can be confusing. And then even in the midst of trying to push someone away, you're talking about, I'm all alone. Like, it's really, really weird how my mind worked like that. And I know now as an adult mentoring girls, realizing I'm not the only one who had a mind like that. Like, I legit thought I was losing my mind. Like, why is it that I want friendships, but when I'm going through, I push everyone away? Like, that's just crazy to me. Yet so many women and young girls do it.
But that's because isolation and loneliness is the key. Like, that's the gateway and the doorway to suicidal thoughts. So if you were to ever successfully push me away, then that would have been a whole nother issue. So as the friend, I'm talking to the friend of the girl with those thoughts. Don't go. Just don't. Whether you just have to sit there and stare in her face if you need to, or keep calling, or pop up.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do. Because if you don't go, then she's not going to go. Yeah.
Because with suicide, it was definitely like, I'm a believer of Christ, and I truly believe that there are so many different reasons why our friendship exists, but I know I would not be here if it wasn't for our friendship, with the many times that I not just had suicidal thoughts, but actual suicidal attempts. And you being the only one that I trusted, the only one who answered the phone when I was going through my phases, when other people felt like I was just seeking attention. You were the only one who knew, no, I know where this stems from. I know what she's going through because you've been there since day one. And I feel like a person who is going through suicidal thoughts, and when they share that with someone, people a lot of times want to assume they're just trying to get attention, or something's just
or be judgmental in general.
Yeah, and it's like, if somebody's telling you that's how they feeling, take that seriously unless they prove to you otherwise. But even then, the next time around, they might be serious. Like, and so to have had a friend that did not judge me
and never took it lightly,
like, it's, and there would be times like, calling you was the only thing that kept me from taking my life, because of the things that I felt I was going through, that my life wasn't worth living. And just even sometimes still thinking about it, I get really emotional, because I'm like, looking back, yes, stuff sucked, but there was nothing that I was going through that was worth taking my life. And to know that I was still trying to do that is just jacked up.
But that's where you were, again, being inside of yourself.
Yeah.
And it took just for me to show you, hey, I'm here, and whether you gonna sit inside of yourself, I'm gonna climb up in there and be in there with you.
Right, like, I'm just gonna sit in there with you, girl. I ain't going nowhere.
So, yeah, and sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, and it's like, when we're working with young people, and when they're going through those things, and they're speaking negatively about themselves, as a parent, as an aunt, a sister, whatever the case may be, like, really pay attention and zone in on those people, because they're really going through some things and they're dealing with stuff, and they're not dealing with it properly. So they're attacking themselves, and then they're attacking the people around them. So even, like she said, even if they try to push you away, don't let them push you away. They need you more than ever when they're going through those things.
That's the moments to sit there. That's the moments to keep calling. That's the moment to say, hey, let's go for a walk. Hey, you need to call me at 4 a.m. and vent. Hey, guess what? I'm here. Because those are the moments where the loneliness kicks in.
Man, and to be honest, it was even into adulthood, that those struggles were still taking place. And there were some friends that didn't make the cut because they couldn't handle me pushing them away. And it is what it is, because everybody can't handle that. But to know that I had that one strong friend that was like, no matter what, girl, you stuck. When I used to be so mad at her for not leaving me alone. Like, in that time, like, just go away, just leave me alone. She's like, girl, bye. Ain't nobody going nowhere. It's be like, ah! Like,
yep. I wasn't going.
Yeah. So,
but that also leads me to how I felt.
Yeah.
Just having a friend who was always going through that wasn't really the hard part. The hard part was the pushing away. The hard part was the pushing away when you know that she needs you most. The hard part was pushing away when you know you didn't do anything wrong. And I think it wasn't until last year, I think, that I really, had a breakdown and was like, if something happens to you, it's going to be like it's my fault. It's going to feel like it's my fault because you have friends. But who's your friend? I am your best friend. I have been your friend the longest in life. The closest in life. If something happens to you, people are going to look and think, oh my God, Denisha, you wasn't there for her? Do y'all know how much I've been here? Do you know the stuff that I've been through? And that's how I felt. And then even to me, inside myself, forget what everybody else think, inside myself, I was going to think, what was that one moment that I wasn't there? What was the one moment that I did something wrong? What was the one moment that I couldn't pull her back? And I think it wasn't until that breakdown did she finally understand how I felt. All these years.
That was a real deep, real intense conversation that we had, that I could tell that you have been holding on to that. And it's like, wow, like that clearly was never, my intent. But again, like those thoughts and you allowing other things to take control, you're hurting the people that love you the most. And there's really nothing you can do about things like that. And so it's really unfortunate. And I just thank you and appreciate you for not walking away from me.
Never.
During those times. And ladies, I want you to really understand how important it is to share with people when you're going through things, and on the other end, to be that listening ear. And if you feel like you can't handle that, be honest with them so that they know that, so that they don't feel like you don't want to be there, but that you just don't know how.
And even in those overwhelming moments where it may be overwhelming for you, put yourself in the other person's shoes and understand that it's even more overwhelming for her. So if you have to walk away for a second, okay. But understand that still be that olive branch if you can be.
Yeah. That was really good. So we really hope that this topic today has brought some insight to all of you. I think it's really important. Again, self-esteem can lead to so many different arenas, and especially suicide. And it's a really important topic to discuss, and to know that you're not alone, whether you're the one dealing with the suicidal thoughts and low self-esteem, or whether you're the friend or the sister or the mom or the daughter who is around someone with those issues. Make sure therapy I'm a full advocate of therapy. I know some people aren't, but, I am. And I need it. So I go faithfully every 7 days, okay? But find what works for you, so that you can have a healthy mind and a healthy heart.
And let love.
Her and this let love is just like, this love word is being used a lot in 2019, I see. But yeah, so make sure you hold tight. We're going to come back with the nugget of the day. So don't go anywhere. All right? All right. Thanks for staying and waiting for us to return for the nugget of the day. I know that was a really heavy topic that we just discussed. But I think it's really important that we have those conversations because at the end of the day, it's real. And being a person who had suicidal thoughts and attempts, like I ended up in a mental health complex because of attempts on more than one occasion. So I definitely know firsthand how my mind can make me think that my life isn't worth living. So I just think it's really important to talk about that, but then to also get that other perspective of how it affects the people around you. So definitely I'm glad you guys tuned in and listened for that. So the nugget of the day is just this. You are a masterpiece. Period. No matter what, no matter who, where, when, why, and how. You are a masterpiece, and don't you ever forget it. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Social Butterfly, Real Talk, No Chaser. Until next time, y'all, I'm out. You're officially part of the Speak Life Nation, so remember, speak life to yourself, speak life to others. Until next time, y'all.